What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 103, and we start today's off with a look at fixtures for January. As you can see, Sassuolo at home, and the big one, Juventus in second place away in Turin, and based on how the table is looking right now, if they win that game, we could drop to third. Some more big games coming, including Torino in the Coppa Italia last 16 as well, as we aim to keep our unbeaten start to the season going. Yeah, approaching the halfway point now, 17 games into the Serie A season. Still yet to taste defeat, though we were bloody close against Inter in the last game, the last episode, that 2-2 draw. And that now means as well, in our last 4 Serie A games, the reason why Juve have cut the gap to 2, we've only had 2 wins. 2 wins and 2 draws. 8 points picked up from a possible 12. Doesn't sound bad, right? But hey, this is the AI on Ultimate. If you're going to be champions, you need to be almost flawless. So, first game of today's episode, looking to return to winning ways. And what a season this guy is having. 2 minutes into the game, I love those kickoff goals. And we score one to kick off today's episode. And it's that young man once again. I kept on saying it. He was going to have a breakout season this year. He is. Elias Timmermans is now 11 in 17 for the young Belgium. And I loved it because, you know, when we started the series, we started a stint off of AC Milan. When we signed Timmermans and then we signed Moise Kean, we already had Hudson-Odoi, and we were talking about our front four, and I was saying how Kean and Hudson-Odoi are going to be the right-hand men to Roberto Gutierrez. But this season, it's Timmermans. Timmermans, the youngster, emerging star midfielder this year for us, a star playmaker, I should say. He's the second highest scorer in this team, ahead of Moise and Callum as well. Now, Sassuolo would level it directly afterwards and make it 1-1. Now, I was thinking, if we draw 3 times in 5, our following game, Juve away, and they win that, well, let's be honest here, I could see them just totally changing momentum, getting on their side, and we'll struggle to keep up with the old lady. So I needed to win this game at the San Siro against the mid-table Sassuolo side. Keane restores our lead soon after losing it. It's 2-1, but to be fair to the visitors in this game, man, they were sensing we weren't at our best. Another golden chance 19 minutes in, but Mike with a brilliant save keeps it at 2-1. I keep on talking about our offensive play this season. The top scorers in the Serie A just dominating on that end this season, but Mike this year has been unbelievable. There were the rumours he was going to leave, 1 year left in his contract, and I was talking about it, trying to replace him and bring back Gigi Donnarumma. Wasn't going to happen. The fans wouldn't have him back. Donnarumma didn't want to return, so we kept Mike in the team, and his importance this year cannot be understated. Big save there. Then we go on the counter, and Keane turns into Timmermans' cutback to make it 3-1. So 2-goal cushion given to us, and then 27 minutes in what was a really action-packed first half. Now Roberto played forward 1-on-1, and finally after 3 goals but none for Gutierrez, he gets his first of the game here as the Serie A top scorer. Gets what is goal number 20, I believe, in the Serie A this season. Yeah, Gutierrez this year has been better than last year. And when you won 3 golden boots, 1 in the Serie A, 1 in the Coppa Italia, and in the Europa League as well, and you get better the following season? I talked about it. That's what the truly greats do. Even on a really, really good season, they still find ways to improve. That is what the greatest of the greats do. And Roberto is up there as one of my best strikers ever. He got our 4th, and in the second half with 15 minutes to go, not too much going on in the second half, really. We round a goal cue with Callum Hudson-Odoi and wrap up the game 5-1. To be fair, though, this is one of those games where the scoreline was really, really deceptive. Sassuolo put me under a lot of pressure in this game. Mike made a couple of great saves. That was a much tougher win than the scoreline suggested. Still, following that, as you can see, our first big bid for January, and it comes from our Champions League last 16 opponents, Barcelona, putting in a £119 million bid for Theo Hernandez. But of course, we said no. Theo has stayed here throughout the entire series, here as part of the original Milan side when we inherited the squad last season. No way am I selling Theo. I know he's in his 30s now, don't get me wrong, but 91 overall, one of the best left-backs in the game. Nah, Theo is an integral part of our team. Of course, Hernandez is staying here. And so for the second game of today's episode here, this would be the big one. Juventus. This game was the 19th of the season, so after this one officially at the halfway point, and after we won, but Juve slipped up in the previous game, that meant the gap now is extended to 4. So win this one away in Turin, and we extend it to 7. But lose it, and the gap is cut to 1. Well, like I said in the Inter game, I knew that our opponents needed a win more than we did, so I would have taken a draw. And I don't know whether that mindset was going to cost me in the Inter game when we drew 2-2 and I got off to that really poor start going 2-0 down early. Well, maybe it is a mindset thing. Knowing I don't need to play with urgency, don't need to play with fire, and a draw will do me fine. Maybe it's a mindset thing, because 5 minutes in, we fell behind, and just like against Inter, surrendered an early lead. Matthias de Ligt makes it 1-0, and then 18 minutes in, Dybala should have made it 2. Mike, we keep on talking about him, another brilliant save ensures we're only down by a goal. But in the first half, it was all Juve. Like I said, they needed the win more than we did. They were playing some brilliant football in the first half an hour, and with 10 minutes to go before the break, they would make it 2. Mike makes a brilliant save, but he can't do it all. The rebound turned in, and with 10 minutes to go in the first half, it was feeling like deja vu. Like against Inter, we're 2-0 down, and we're in trouble in Turin. Juve 2, Milan 0, and really, had it not been for Mike, we would have been 4 or 5-0 down in the first half. Our French shot stopper, earning his money this season. He's been unbelievable. And I just didn't get going in the first half. I really didn't. In the second half, I thought, right, I've got to change something, got to do something. I brought in Alessandro for more energy through the middle, as I often like to do. He headed the ball onto the post from a corner as it was still 2-0 with 16 minutes to go. I just couldn't create proper chances. I really couldn't. Juve's defense, so solid, so strong, couldn't really get any opportunities whatsoever. Our best one fell with 15 minutes to go. Great ball by Rivera, found Gutierrez, but a super stop by Szczesny kept it at 2-0. And I knew it was probably going to happen at some point. And if it was going to happen, you'd probably back it to be in this fixture. And that's how it happens. There it is. There it is. Our undefeated start is gone. And it goes in Turin. De Ligt and Milinkovic-Savic getting the goals in the first half in a 2-0 win. And do you know what? I always say this. I present the highlights package very, very fairly. And I always admit when I've been beaten by the better team. Yep, not even going to try and deny it. Beaten by the better team, Juve deserved a win. It is over after 19 games. Our unbeaten run comes to an end. Juve, the first and so far only team to beat us in the Serie A, well, in all competitions this season. And in the process, they cut the gap to 1. And I've been talking about it all throughout the season, man. Whilst it feels as though we've been dominating in the Serie A, winning big, top scorers, defending really well. Most of our games have resulted in wins. That's our only loss of the season so far. That loss, our only one in 19. You'd think if we'd only had one defeat in 19, we'd be head and shoulders above everyone. But we're not. Inter Milan, the holders, are in third and not too far away. And now Juve cutting the gap to 1 point as well. 1 point! Despite our incredible first half of the season. Well, I keep on talking about it. If we're going to win this Serie A title, and Milan's first in a long time, we have to do it the hard way. Evidence there against Juventus. Our first defeat of the season. And I really felt as well that, to be fair, if I was ever going to have an undefeated league season, based on the way we started off this campaign, going into red-hot form right from the first match day, I thought if it was ever going to happen, it would be this season. But I knew as we were approaching the halfway point, I was starting to slip up a little bit. You know, we slipped up against Roma in the Serie A, so he had to come back from 2 goals down to claim a point against Inter. I knew it was going to be tough. I don't think I'll ever be able to do it again. The AI on Ultimate is just so difficult to play against. To go unbeaten in 38 games. I tell you what, in the comment section down below, if you've done it, let me know when you did it and with what team and in what season. Because I don't think I'll ever be able to do it. Oh, by the way, 41 minutes in, 3-0 up against Torino. How class was this goal? Absolutely beautiful, quick first touch pass and movement there. That was a brilliant goal. One of my favourites of the season. That one really cool. But yeah, if you've done it, if you've had an undefeated season against the AI on Ultimate, tell me what team you were using and how you did it. Because man, honestly, man, I don't think I'll ever be able to do it again. Like, the AI is just so much more difficult now, and that game showed it there. So, still, following the defeat there, we had to return to winning ways, and we would as well. Coppa Italia last 16, and heading into the game, obviously last year we got to the final for being beaten by Inter Milan. I picked a really strong lineup for this game because I was taking no chances on the back of the loss against Juventus. Wanted a really strong team out there and a convincing win to return to winning ways, and we get it as well. Beat Torino by 5 goals to 1. A couple of really nice team goals included in this 5-1 route, including as well 3 of the 5 getting scored by Messi's Regen, Ramirez. Yeah, it's a hat-trick for Ramirez, his first in pro football. It comes at the San Siro as well. And I talked about it, especially in episode 100, the dilemma with Messi's Regen. What do I do, man? Seriously, well, a hat-trick in this game gives me even more cause for concern because I can't keep him on the bench. Returns from injury and bags a hat-trick against Torino. Absolutely brilliant. 85 overall at 19 years old. But the real story of the night was not Ramirez's performance, but the shocks in the cup. Juve and Inter both knocked out in the last 16. As we go through to the last day, we've got Cagliari, who's fair this season after a great start in 5th place right now. But with Inter and Juve both falling at the first hurdle, we've now become firm favourites to win the Coppa Italia as the holders and the team in 2nd place right now have both been knocked out. But that was this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Enjoy. If you want to like, much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.